Колеги, доброго ранку. Сьогодні 15 січня, п'ятниця. Український кризовий медіа-центр розпочинає свою роботу. І до слова запрошується речник Міністерства оборони України, підполковник.
Dear colleague, we start our work and I invite Oleksiy Chernobay to the microphone, and later we will have Major Anton Marinovich via Skype from the ATO zone. Good morning, dear participants. I'm happy to see you. Our briefing, the Minister of Defense of Ukraine has passed new rules for the civil for the aviation and flights in Ukraine. There are three orders of the Ministry of Defense: the rules for temporary registration of aircrafts, the rules for flights of state and public aircrafts, and the rules for airfield maintenance. Those rules will bring into order the flights of all the aircrafts which are not registered in the state registers. Also, it will bring the rules for the flights in accordance with ICAO rules, and they will set unified requirements to maintenance of airfields. And also the maintenance of all other facilities, also training of aviation specialists. They will considerably increase flight security of the public aviation aircrafts. Also, Ukraine has passed the new medical evacuation standards. It will be used during joint operations with the NATO alliance member countries. It sets the main procedures for medical evacuation and allows to provide efficient procedures, including the air medical ways of evacuation. Ukraine, as of today, had implemented 65 NATO standards, and for the years 2016-2018, some more 70 standards are planned for implementation. Currently, the document on the joint military medical doctrine has been submitted to the passage by the President. This will be the key document in military medical area, and it will introduce unified approaches to strengthening and preserve health of Ukrainian servicemen. Currently, some 84 Ukrainian servicemen from the armed forces and 2 more servicemen from other military agencies stay in the hospitals, and another 80 are undergoing rehabilitation. And some 28 Ukrainian servicemen currently stay abroad and are undergoing treatment there. 11 in Germany, 7 in the USA, 5 in Hungary, 3 in Lithuania, and 1 in Austria, 1 in Poland. Also, during the year 2015, the Ministry of Defense has got 245 million hryvnia for medical services. Out of that, 200 million were used for medicines and medical equipment. Also, it received 2.5 million of charity assistance from population, and also the volunteers provide a lot of assistance to Ukrainian army. Thus, during the last year, they provided equipment and masses amounting to 206 million hryvnia. All these means were immediately used for treatment and rehabilitation of wounded servicemen. As of today, Ukrainian armed forces participating in anti-terrorist operation are provided with individual medical kits by 100% and by 90% with medical equipment. Also, the Ministry of Defense continues to pay honoraria to the active participants of anti-terrorist operation. Thus, 51 servicemen has got 780,000 hryvnia for eliminated military equipment of the enemies, and 1,300 servicemen received 4 million hryvnia for brilliant implementation of the tasks along the hostility area. And more than 300 million hryvnia were received by wounded soldiers. With this, I give the floor to Mr. Anton Maranovich. Good morning, Mr. Anton. Good morning. We are listening very attentively to your information. During the last days, the situation in ATO area became more tense despite the latest agreements in Minsk about quiet situation. Even on the day of negotiations in Minsk about peaceful solutions to the conflict in Donbass, the militants violated the ceasefire regime. On January 12th, the last day of the Minsk negotiations, the situation was relatively quiet. They 24 times shelled our positions and did not use heavy weaponry, but near Lugansk, they opened fire from 82 millimeter grenade launchers. In Donetsk and Artemek directions, they used not only small arms and small caliber grenade launchers, they also used 82 millimeter mortars. Close to Lugansk, there was a fire strike when the small offense was repelled by our soldiers. For example, near Vodene, which is located in gray zone near Mariupol, there was a military provocation carried out by enemy's reconnaissance group. They started from temporarily occupied Komentarna, opened fire on residents, and then coordinated it to one of our positions. We had to respond the allowed fire in response. That day they used small arms, grenade launchers and big caliber mortars, but twice they shelled our positions near Novgorodska, which is to the north from Gorlivka. In the evening, the situation in Mariinka became less quiet, and they continued to shell it even today. As of today, there were more than 10 shellings of Mariinka. During the last 3 days, they used weapons more than 160 times against ATO forces, and their snipers continue to work all the time. Our reconnaissance works very thoroughly, and believe that they do not just wish to provoke us, but also try to raise the military exercises after having got training in the rear, and the character of their maneuvers suggests they are trying to exercise in defense, not in offense approaches. This shows that they have no plans to resolve this conflict in peaceful way. At the same time, our forces are not carrying out any preparations to the offense, and they never open fire unlike they are heavily provoked, and only in response. Also, the reconnaissance inform about the staff problems with the militants. Thus, a lot of people desert, and a lot of people deviate from military service. The situation in temporary occupied territories is absolutely known for us. And we know that there is a lot of heavy weaponry prohibited by Minsk agreements, and they hinder access for the OC mission. The efficiency of our reconnaissance has been growing every day because a lot of militants express their wish to cooperate with us, and local residents in the occupied territories provide more and more information about the activities of bandits. Thank you very much for your attention. I'm ready to answer your questions. Dear colleagues, are there any questions? Since there are no questions, thank you, Anton. Thank you, Oleksiy. We wrap up our session and see you on Tuesday. Thank you. Dear colleagues, our next briefing will be at 10.